Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2020 Lamborghini Huracán STO in online racing. So we're in S1 class, as that is the original class that this Huracán is in. So yeah, we've not had a huge amount of PI to play with, but we've got more power, more torque, better brakes, and less in the way of weight as well. So yeah, let's see what it can do. Fortunately we do have someone here with an annoying horn, so obviously they do decide to be annoying even more so with it. Yeah, this is still rear wheel drive, so there is the odd occasion where it might well oversteer, especially when pushed beyond the limit. But if we go faster we should have more aerodynamic downforce than we would normally. It's just about keeping that speed up really. Yeah, the brakes are excellent on this, as we'll see when we get to the stats when we start on our third race, because we will get into a new lobby after this race and the next one. That Nissan is a little bit out of control. It's like a car that's got a lot of power but not much in the way of handling. Got that a little bit wrong. Yeah, I'm not the best at racing in these higher powered cars. I'm more used to my, bad handling cars that have a decent amount of power but are, agile to hell. So yeah, I did do the first race in this lobby, but my recording didn't start for some reason immediately, so yeah. But still, top 5's decent enough I guess, but yeah. Certainly not doing as well as the other person with the Huracán STO, but then I feel they've given it all-wheel drive and the like, so they've kind of spoiled what the whole STO aspect of the car is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be more of a race car than a, an all-wheel drive supercar. Yeah, let's see if we can do any better in this next race, which is our second race, but technically the third in this lobby. But yeah, we'll move on to a new lobby after we've done this race, just to see how good this Lamborghini can be. So yeah, we got now 665 horsepower, which is 35 horsepower more than standard, and 439 pounds-feet of torque, which is 23 pounds-feet of torque more, from its still 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10 engine. We now also weigh 3,200 pounds, which is 39 pounds less than standard, which isn't a great amount by any means, but with the wider tyres and the bigger, better brakes, it does weigh a little bit more than normal, but then I've knocked some weight out by giving it a race exhaust and a race drive line, and upgrading the anti-roll bars as well to race anti-roll bars, which again reduce weight. So yeah, it'd weigh a lot less if it didn't have those wider tyres and the better brakes, but then it wouldn't be as good a handling car or able to stop as well as it does. So yeah, all about compromise. So yeah, that's why I've not been able to go massive with the extra power as well, because obviously, like I said, the PI on this was already quite high to the S1 class. I think it was 883, so we didn't have a huge amount to play with, but still got a fair decent amount of extra power into it, and extra power and less weight both combined to make for a much quicker car. So yeah, do apologise as well, I have a bit of a cold at the moment. Right, let's see what happens. Speed run on this part. So yeah, we don't have the highest of top speeds, only 201 mile an hour, which is only 4 mile an hour more than standard, but it's hardly lacking either. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Didn't realise they were going to cut in. Ow. God damn it. Bit of a scrappy race this. I don't find the racing on this game anywhere near as satisfying as any of the motorsport games, but still, got a slightly better position in that one than the previous race, so I guess not all is lost, but yeah, that's just the way it is sometimes, I guess. But yeah, right, that's the end of that lobby, so let's move on to the next lobby and see if we can do any better than 4th, which, granted, not the best place ever, but you know, this was the first lobby that I've been in this car, in this upgraded form. So yeah, can't be helped sometimes, I guess. Right, I can show off the stats on this car when we get into the new lobby. Which, yeah, it's 2 circuits and 1 sprint. Right, so yeah, as you can see, there's all of the power and the weight distribution. And these are the stats. So as you can see, the braking and the handling are really rather good. The launch is surprisingly good as well, despite the fact it's still rear wheel drive and now has more power and more torque to deal with. The only real letdown is the acceleration and the speed, which, yeah, the speed is more than 200 mile an hour, but the acceleration isn't the best. So yeah, but again, acceleration would be better obviously if it had all wheel drive, but then I feel like it wouldn't be as good a handling car, and it would kind of ruin the spirit of the car in the first place, because yeah, like I said, it's made to be rear wheel drive instead of keeping the all wheel drive of the standard car. So yeah, we can now do 0-60 2.502 seconds, which is less than 0.1 of a second quicker than originally. as it could do 2.588 seconds in its stock form, but that is still a decrease in acceleration, so yeah, that's pretty good. And yeah, you can do 0 to 100 in 5.359 seconds, which is about 0.2 of a second quicker than originally. So yeah, only marginal improvements in terms of acceleration and top speed, but definitely does feel a little bit better in terms of handling than originally, and yeah, does generally feel quicker as well in terms of acceleration, even though the numbers are obviously a lot smaller than you'd expect. So given the increase in power, torque, and the slight reduction in weight. So yeah, no doubt there's better ways of upgrading this car, and more competitive ways of upgrading this car, but I still really like the way that it handles, quite frankly. So yeah, let's see how we do on this race. Come on, load. At least we've got a reasonably sized lobby as well, instead of just one of two of us. There's a Huracán Performante, which is originally the quicker version of the Huracán. Still probably is in terms of acceleration, I guess, given it's got all-wheel drive still. Push me onto the outside, so I'm going to go there. Reap what you sow. Although he will have had more PI to play with than me, so he already had 630 horsepower, like I did, stock form, so probably does have more power than I do. The acceleration will be better out the corners, given it's got all-wheel drive. But the handling on this is just superior, just because of the lack of all-wheel drive. Yes, at the limit it is a little bit hairy. It does get a bit oversteery at times, but the turning is better. Lacks the understeer of the all-wheel drive Huracán. And the lack of all-wheel drive also improves the weight. Brakes really rather great in this as well. Could do with more torque, I guess, given some quite hilly sections on this circuit, but it's the only issue I really have with this engine. Well, that's the best position we've had so far with this car, so I'm pleased with second place. A fairly uneventful race as well in terms of crashing or anything like that, so again, I'm fine with that one. Gives us a good start to this lobby. And yeah, lap time, we were dead on the Viper. I'm really surprised that we've actually had the exact same lap time as another car. I don't think I've seen that before. So yeah, we were dead on. Obviously we weren't faster, so therefore we were unlikely to catch up, but we weren't losing any ground either, so yeah, really surprised by that one. Especially given we're completely different kind of cars as well. That's got an even bigger V10 engine than we have, but also a lot more in the way of torque. And it delivers its power in a different kind of way as well, as it's a lower revving engine than we are. And that was made from the start with rear-wheel drive as well, whereas obviously we were all-wheel drive in the original Huracán and the Performante version, whereas only in this one that we have rear-wheel drive. So a little bit different in that regard, but yeah, obviously not so different that we don't get the similar lap time. So yeah, that was a surprise. But yeah, I do really rather like this car, even if it is a more track-based vehicle, which typically I'm not a fan of. I do kind of like the Performante a lot as well though, because it has a lot of the advantages of this, you know, more power, less weight, but it has that security of the all-wheel drive for a more on the day-to-day basis. And with this being a track car, it's probably not quite as usable on a day-to-day basis as well in terms of comfort and, you know, rideability, especially when it comes to any bumps or jumps or any potholes or anything like that. I imagine this would be a tough car to deal with daily. Come on, these loading times are painful sometimes. Other times it's really rather quite quick, but sometimes it can be quite slow. My guess is someone's either left or more people have joined. That's typically what slows down the loading of the lobby. Here we go, setting it up now. Right, sprint time. More or less than last time. We're on 8 last time. Well, same people. Someone must have had connection issues in terms of joining. Not sure how an Aston Martin DBX is going to perform here. Being an SUV and the like. Best start to a race ever, I guess. Don't ram into me, damn it. You little paw. Sake. And then I get the wall collision because I'm bounced into the wall. Yep, that's fair. Obviously not. This game does my head in sometimes. This game seems to be more interested in penalising people that are trying to race rather than those that aren't. Well, me being unfairly penalised for the mistakes of others there, or intentional ramming of others. Yeah, there's no way that was fair on me. Get rammed by 2 cars at the same time, and then I get forced into the wall, therefore giving me the wall collision. Slow down. That was the Camaro and the Hoonigan Escort, I think it was. No fair. No fair indeed. Right, let's hope this third and final, well, 5th and final race I guess technically, goes better. not completely hating on this game, because there are times when you do get really well good races with people that actually want to race, but as you've seen probably in this video, more often than not you're dealing with people that just don't want to race properly. I'm not saying I'm perfect. There were some instances where I probably braked a little bit too late, because I'm fully confident in my car being able to stop, but the game technically isn't, and obviously I don't quite take into account how other people are going to be braking as well. But I don't try and exploit the ghost mode collision thing intentionally, no, not at all. But yeah, I do forget that my brakes being excellent don't necessarily mean that everyone else is going to be as excellent as well. So yeah, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but I'm not intentionally crashing into anyone. I'm not trying to force anyone out of a checkpoint like I have come across so many times before. I've been forced out of checkpoint areas so many times, it's just stupid, quite frankly. But yeah, doesn't make me like this game any less in any major way, but it does spoil it a bit, especially when you just want to have an enjoyable race. I feel like it's more of a problem in these higher classes though, where speeds are greater and cars are more able to do, you know, greater things with handling and the like, whereas in the likes of A class or B class I think it's a lot less of a problem, which is why I typically stay away from S1 or S2 class races, because yeah, they just seem to have a bit more of a toxic relationship with how to drive on this game. So yeah, that's why I will typically pick a slower car to use on these online race videos. But I do like to try out vehicles that are newly added to the game as well. Sometimes they are higher than A class, so, or more suitable in a higher class than A class, so can't really be helped at that point. Concentrating. I got a bit of a lead on 6th place. Massively far behind 4th or 3rd. Martin is slowing everyone down. Oh dear, that's the oversteer I was talking about. Aston Martin's done remarkably well to get to 4th. Must have a shed of a car But yeah, 5th is at least fine. It's, you know, halfway between what I got last time in the first race, or the 3rd race technically, but yeah. Would have liked to have done better, but at least we're not, you know, last or anything, so yeah, but there we go. A really great car in a rather poor online race, or online racing game, quite frankly, but still, a great car, and yeah, highly recommend trying it out if you haven't already. Not sure if it's still available in the festival playlist at this point, or when this video comes out, but if you have it and you haven't tried it out yet, then please do so, because it is an excellent vehicle. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.